Facebook, what's up? YouTube, what's up? Ready? Facebook, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's up with it? What's up with it? Hey, we finna get this thing going. Finna get it popping, man. We finna get it going, ladies and gents. And we finna get live. What's going on? Hey, we gonna show you some information right now, man. We're gonna kick this off. Dealing with the Cuervo, the what actually went down. So we finna check this out. And we gonna get live second. What's up with it? Just hold on 1 second. We finna check this out, man. This happened at the Grammys. And his cousin Offset, man, they got into it. We finna check this out. We trying to. We gonna see what's happening. Man, look like they got into it, man. For reasons, since the death takeoff, man, they've been having, man, and we just trying to see what's going on with it, man, and we seeing that it's bad blood between Quavo and Offset following the death of Takeoff. Those emotions boiled over backstage at the Grammy with a physical fight. Sources of the show tell us before his performance, Quavo's performance, he holding up the chain of Takeoff, man, who was murdered a couple months ago, man, and it was tragic, man. He was murdered in Houston at a bowling alley, and it's sad, it's tragic, man. And we just praying for his family, praying for everybody, man, in his family, man. And pray that they can come to a resolution. And it's a sad chain of events that is happening. I pray that they get some type of resolution. Sometimes people can deal with those passions, a little bit different. They had a fight, man. That was it was backstage. It was tough, man. We wish, praying for Quavo and Offset, man. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Yeah, so man, we just want to welcome everybody. We want to thank everybody for coming in. Those that's watching, we salute y'all and thank y'all for watching our podcast, man. And we're gonna get right into it, man. The topic is real interesting that me and my partner D Black we have this interesting dynamic of discussing things, and the podcast came out of this of us just having random conversations. This is how the podcast was born, and the subject gonna be is why so many men are choosing not to be stepfathers today compared to men of 10 and 15 years ago. Talk about that today, man, and it's a topic that we need to deal with. The younger generation, dealing with it. My generation dealt with it. I had a stepfather, and sometimes it can be a good experience. So we just gonna get into it, man. When we talk about that, man, Billboard released top 50 rappers, the top 50 rappers, man, and topping the top three was Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, and Nas. You had other artists that were reaching that apex, man, and it was interesting. How Billboard ranked them. It was real interesting how they ranked those artists. And to me, I think it was a good thing. But some will beg to differ. Uh, and what's interesting, it said Billboard has named Nicki Minaj as the 10th greatest rapper of all time after Jay-Z 1, Kendrick 2, Nas 3, Tupac 4, Eminem G 6, Lil Wayne 7, Drake and Snoop tied for 9. Billboard, they got Nicki at number 10. Now, Nicki dope. I don't consider Nicki a female rapper. I think Nicki is just an MC. And for her to, for her to be ranked at number 10, it's kind of questionable because she's up there. But she's one of the greatest artists that I've seen, bar none, as far as being in that world. And about her because she's a true artist. She knows how to cross over from rap to pop. She can hang in there with the males in her industry and do her thing. Nicki has sold over 60 million singles. Nicki went platinum several times. So her record shows, that she's done her thing. Now she's married, got children, or got a son, and she's still dropping hits, man. I knew her, my partner, D Black, introduced her. I think this was in 2007. She did a song with Usher, and the song was dope. And she's been consistent and one of the greatest MCs of all. You had LL. They had 50 Cent at the top, at the bottom, towards the bottom 50. This is Billboard. Also, looking at the nominations, dealing with Jay-Z and the top nomination. Did you know that Snoop Dogg was nominated for 20 Grammys? He was nominated for 20 Grammys, but he did not win none. He's been nominated just as much as close to Jay-Z and other artists, but he has not received a Grammy yet. I think with the groundbreaking music has done, I think he deserves to be seen what he's going to do as far as for the artistry. Snoop of our times, and I'm glad that I grew up doing stature is greatness is relative, but when you're looking at it from a standpoint of artistry, you're good for a sustained period of time. Every time you're coming out, you drop something hot. You see some artists, they come out, they fall. You don't hear from some of them. They one-hit wonders. They got one record, and you don't hear from no more. Now, when I was coming up, we had a group called Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli won Grammys, but Milli Vanilli was turned out that they were pantomiming music. They was going over the lip syncing over artists that recorded the music. In reality, they could not sing. And I think suicide. It could have been behind it. It could have been other related things, but it's neither here nor there right now. But now you got that good over a period of time. When they drop music, they're able to drop and stay with trends. You got artists that, the young people, some of them, they try to write off older artists, man. Legacy artists. You want to refer to them to legacy artists like LL KRS-One, KRS world. He's one of the MCs in the rap world, and they try to write these artists off, but these artists have been good and been in the scene been on the scene for over 30 years. Jay-Z been in the scene for over 30 years. He's still relevant. Now he has moved into the business section. He said he's not really interested. You know, he'll do a verse here. Of course, we seen the performance that God did on the Grammys, and that was amazing, man. The way they laid it out, it was like a long table, well, like they was doing the Last Supper, and it was, you know, at the head of it, and it was a good performance. The Grammys celebrated hip hop. You had Public, you had artists like Public, LL Cool J, you had Rakim, you had great artists celebrate 50 years in 50 years that this genre has been on this rap during the time when rap music was just going to be a fad. It was going to die off, but rap music now has been so ingrained in the culture that corporate America has used rap music, and politics have used rappers to move their agenda forward, to get people and encouraging them to vote. And rap music has been a big component of marketing products. Now they are getting endorsement deals, and they're making partnerships. They have evolved into the spirit all here. They have evolved into the clothing business, things of that nature, and it's been one after another. Now Jay-Z is first big rapper. Now he has done a deal, multi-million-dollar deal with Bacardi. With that, D'ussé is a spirit drink that Jay-Z has had his share in with Bacardi. Now he had an issue with Bacardi. He wanted to know, as far as with the records, the sales, the financials. He filed a lawsuit, and they were able to himself and his other artists in that business. To, you know, Jay sold his stake, but he's able to maintain a percentage. He offered 1.5. They rejected it. They wanted to offer him 500 million, but they rejected it. He gave probably 750 million off the deal, but he has a portion, and that's where our business moved. So now you're dealing with that, and you're dealing with the evolution of hip hop, that you got artists that are different issues. So hip hop is playing a big component on the national scale. So it's something that I would love to see other artists get into. Jay-Z just set the tone as far as to show you that it's possible to become a billionaire in this business, but you got to diversify, and it's not just through music. Okay, I got you, Rich. Okay, cool. It's not just through music, but other ventures that you have to get into. Now, Heather B said something that was key. She said that on Sway in the Morning, and I love Heather B. Sway in the Morning. She said, I can remember this. Russell Simmons was the team back in the 90s. To do Fat Farm and clothing, getting the clothing arena. He said when he started, man, they laughed at him. They said, man, what in the hell you get into? This, what you doing, dumping money into clothes? You're not gonna ever win with that. He winning and moving with the clothing business. He was always on the edge and on the cuffs of doing something different, and he showed us how to do it. A black man that really showed us from New York, showed us how at the time that Def Jam Records reached $250 million in sales. That was worth $250 million. Now artists today are worth much, and you got record labels that's going into the billions. So it's showing you how far you know, the evolution have grown with the business. So it's been something that's grand, and it's been something that we working on, man. And it's something that's great we got going, man. So what's Black? What's going on?
What's happening? I'm just listening to the evolution of hip hop. But
Yeah.
Dapper Dan busting that first with the, you know, kind of blew up with the designs, I think before Fat Farm and stuff, right?
Oh no, Gucci, he would take already established luxury brands, and he would take that and then do it with the MCM, the Gucci, different things of that nature. So he
No, I'm
already
saying
established the brand.
wasn't Dapper Dan out before Russell?
No, because Dapper Dan was a designer. Dapper Dan was he didn't have a clothing line. Dapper Dan was the person that you went to go get your warm up stitched up like Eric B and Rakim. You had in the MCM, and then you had them in Gucci. So as far as lines and putting the line in clothes out,
Right.
Russell Simmons was the first one to actually have a line that he financed and put together. Dapper Dan was a tailor.
Yeah, he was the designer.
Brands.
He the one who.
Yeah, he was a designer.
The one of the first recognized designers of hip.
Designers of hip hop. Yeah, my video chop is this.
Yeah, you on your you have tethering on your phone?
No, this is Wi-Fi.
Right. If you would go to tethering on your phone and connect to your phone tether through your laptop, that eliminates that choppy through your Wi-Fi.
All right, yeah, but so we on that, man, and I get this set up, but we got a new feature on that Black. You see why see it on the side where it said headline, and you can put host there, so you can type it in and do it that way and put it on there. Just click it, and you should be able to do it. So you should.
Let's take a pause and try to switch over. Actually, I think you can switch over without an interruption if you turn your tether on your phone. Because it's very, very bad.
Okay. On your end, I'm chopping.
On the whole broadcast, you chop it. That's why the views jump up and then they jump off.
Okay.
So just turn your tethering on and then connect your PC to the laptop or whatever to the tether.
Okay. All right. Here.
That's what I did with the phone. I said I'm not gonna play with my Wi-Fi today. I'm going straight off of AT&T data, mobile data.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you touched on the Quavo?
Yeah, we did that. I did. Mm-hmm.
So some people was trying to say that it was. They trying to cover it up that it wasn't a fight, and in actuality, there was one or two punches thrown and broken up rather quickly, though. So
it's very real, and it's unfortunate that is happening, man. And I hate that is happening to him. You know, and they going, and it's sad that, you know, that's a hard thing to deal with. Yeah, folks. So just forgive us. Just bear with us a little bit.
Is your tethering on yet?
Yeah, I'm turning it on now. Hold on.
I think Quavo guilty of something. He's behaving like a guilty person. So I don't know. Maybe he's blaming himself for the death of Takeoff. but he
I'm
don't want to
saying
admit he don't want to admit that.
That some saying, man, if he wasn't there, you know, if he wasn't there, you know, if that wouldn't have happened and they just would have left, you know, they would have been good. But they on him and
You froze.
Offset. Now,
No, you were frozen.
oh, okay. Could you hear me now?
Yeah, did you switch over yet though?
Yeah. Hold up. I'm trying. All right.
He's ironing out the kinks
Yeah, just keep.
on the
Yeah, just keep talking, bro.
on his Wi-Fi. And then you also touched on the R. Kelly. You get to the R. Kelly situation yet? Okay, y'all. He's switching his Wi-Fi to his phone.
You in there? Could you see me, Black?
We see you, but you frozen. So, but you are on your tether though, right? Your mobile hotspot.
Hey, could you see me?
We see you, but
All
you're
right.
frozen.
Yeah. Could you see now?
You're frozen.
Yeah, I'm on my mobile hotspot. Yeah.
Okay, you're frozen, so it's giving a moment. But keep talking. We need to see if you're chopping up.
Oh, okay.
Tell us about the R. Kelly. I just need to hear you talk.
Could you hear me?
We hear you, yeah.
Hey, could you hear me? Could you hear me? Oh, okay. Okay. So R. Kelly, they dealing with R. Kelly in the case. I think his case in Chicago was thrown out. So they looking at other cases for R. Kelly, because right now they looking to appeal the case, the 30-year case that he already has. Couldn't find too much more on it, but I know that in the Chicago courts, they threw that case out. They threw that down. With
so his lawyers have filed an appeal.
Hopefully you can hear me.
His lawyers have filed an appeal to get the sentence and the other cases looked at, reopened, the trial reopened. So the fact that the Chicago threw theirs out because of negligence and not enough evidence, now his lawyer then opened up chances of getting the other ones an appeal to get the other case looked at and possibly instead of 30 years dropping them to 10 or something like that. Just my opinion. What's up, Austin? Oh, you're on mute. But then there's a okay.
I'm back.
Yeah, Phantom having Wi-Fi issues over there. We was talking about the R. Kelly case that got thrown out in Chicago, and then now his attorney is filing an appeal because some of the same evidence that they got him on in Chicago is what they were trying to use on them other states. And now there's a possibility, if not coming home, the sentences will be reduced from the 30, 60, whatever many years they were trying to get him. So they filed an appeal on that. And then other R. Kelly news is some lady that's on social media
Yeah,
saying that
that's the best I can get right now, man.
you good
Yeah,
right now. We
just keep.
see you.
Could you hear me?
You probably. I'll tell you what. I would reboot everything and come back.
You hear me now?
No, I would reboot everything. Me personally, I would unplug my Wi-Fi or reboot the PC and the phone and reconnect through my mobile data, mobile hotspot.
Yeah, that's what I
And then
tried to do.
You didn't reboot your phone, did you?
Yeah, I put it on tether, but the area where I'm at has those type of connection issues from the airport
Even
all the
on
way
your
in this
phone?
area. Yeah, even on the phone, it has the same issue, so you just got to bear with it.
Okay,
yeah,
but you're a little bit better now, a little bit better now than what you were. Now this lady that's allegedly saying she's the secret daughter of R. Kelly and Aaliyah. Me personally, I think she's on drugs because it ain't no way possible that R. Kelly and Aaliyah could make a person that ugly, that unattractive, if I can't use the word ugly. So I think that person's has psychological issues to even say that, but that's just my opinion. Have you seen those articles, Austin?
I came across some, but I didn't read it. I was like, man, I wasn't wasting my time.
Right. It ain't no way the two of them could make a child that ugly.
No, I think she just throwed because they don't look. She don't look nothing like either one of them.
But she's getting a lot of attraction to her social media page, and probably gotten into the monetary deal. And so people use popular names of people and I've been a victim of that myself. People use the names for clout to attract people to their page, and that be the only traction they get to their page is when they mention someone's that's relevant when they're not. So I'm thinking that's what she did, and I'm thinking she's getting monetary proceeds from that because of all the traffic to her pages.
It's kind of crazy for her to even, think on that plane as far as thinking that that's their mother. I mean, it's obvious what we see. It's just obvious, man, that ain't what it is. So, it's funny. It is what it is.
It went hella viral.
Yeah, if we had Donald Trump president, it's gonna go. Anything possible in America nowadays. Anything possible.
Who's blowing the horn?
Yeah, anything. Sound like the phone vibrating. Jay, could you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's going on, man?
Man, I can't call it. How's everything going with
you? Yeah. Man, everything good. We just trying to this Wi-Fi in this area, man, kind of shaky right now. Yeah, so it's been a little shaky, but we're gonna get through it. We gotta get back. Let's see. I don't know. It just over this area, it's been crazy. So it's just the Wi-Fi. Wow. But yeah, so we dealing with that. We're gonna deal with something that's real. Step parents, stepchildren. Are men taking the a stepfather? Is that happening right now, or is that happening? Period. That men are not choosing to do that. So we're gonna talk about that tonight. What's going on? You there, Black?
Yep, was them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so with that case, really with no girl, claiming that's their parent, that's her parent. So but you can go viral. Lies went viral. Everything
It
that went
damn sure
viral
went
was
viral. Anything that ugly went viral.
I think, being ugly is relevant. I mean, it's relative. Everybody ain't ugly. It's just, some people are just attractive. We're gonna say that.
She ugly, but I feel you though.
Let's say that, boy. You wild.
No, I
You
just
wild,
keep it
boy.
1,000. I ain't gonna get on here and sugarcoat.
I got you.
Yes, but I get what you saying. You don't see ugly, you see unattractive, which is basically the same thing. But
right. Is an eye of the beholder.
Right. Go. She probably look good to you. You're right. You're right. My bad. My bad. My bad. But
we just gonna say what it is.
On the cool though. Yeah, I think it's a psychological issue, and it'll come out shortly. It'll come out. Mm-hmm. So, topic of the night. Guess we'll dive into it.
Let's dive.
Yeah, we'll dive into it.
Yeah. So we're talking about, So do you think why do you think men don't want to be stepdaddies now?
You're the main one that needs to be answering that question. I think it was, I mean, I have my idea, but I don't want to be the first one to dig the shovel in the ground.
Well, I just say,
yeah, but you
look.
Go ahead.
Most of the time it's the mother that has the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And she doesn't demand or command respect for whoever the other person is. And then when that person tries to gain respect, then, she, in a lot of cases, she probably don't even respect the dude. So she doesn't, they just don't garner any type of respect. And these kids today, they soft, they bad, they feel entitled. So don't nobody want to deal with that from somebody else's kid that's not their own.
And so back in the day, I think it was more accepted because the mother demanded that child respected the father figure of the home, the stepfather. And when I say back in the day, I'm talking like 80s, early 90s, because from what I understand, in the 60s, that was the bad time when the guys was like, "You not mine," and they used to really treat them children some type of way, and that's where that phrase "treat them like a stepchild," I believe, derived from the way that they used to treat them back in the day. And then the late 70s, early 80s, they start treating them more like their child because the mother demanded that they respect the father figure in the home. And in today's time, hell, the kids are raising themselves, and even if the mama did say respect them, the kid gonna do what he want to do majority of the time. So, like Austin said, that mother is not demanding and making sure that that child respects the man in the home. And so if it's not the biological father, a lot of them are opting out of being that replacement because they're not respected and treated as so. So
and then also on the other side there are stepmothers, and those kids sometimes don't respect her as the mother either.
So yeah, that's why the question was too, does step parents even matter in today's society? I knew back, like I say, I'm gonna say, I know the early 80s, they mattered because I met several people who I thought were living with their biological fathers, and come to find out they were steps, but they were treated the same. Graduations, birthdays, they was, and then when we graduated and got older, we'll find out that wasn't their father. So that faded, like I say, around the mid to late 90s. I'm gonna say late 90s, early 2000s. That's when the disrespectful group started coming up, was becoming teens. And you can't tell me what to do. You not my daddy. You not my mama. And they even came out with the song Stepdaddy. You know what I'm saying? Stepdaddy, and I used to play that at all the parties. So you ain't my daddy, and they were saying all that in the song Stepdaddy. So it's like, I think that's when the twist came, late 90s on into the 2000s, and it just got worse as it went on, because now you can't tell them what to do. And then the mother, I think a lot of times the mom be confused on whether how much respect should the step parent, man of the house, stepfather get when the father is active in that child's life. I think that mother really, really kind of get confused, and a lot of times they try to bag out of it and let that child kind of make up their mind and handle that situation on how they're going to handle the child. But a lot of times today, that child conflicts disrespect to the step parent, and a lot of other men hear what their friend, their co-worker, their family member going through with a stepchild, and a lot of times they decide to opt out because the mother don't put her foot down. So classic example, the wife be watching this free TV stuff, and on this free network they got and I never heard of it until I seen her watching it, Are We There Yet? And it has that that guy that's the father of Everybody Hates Chris. For some reason I can't think of the name. And it has that lady that plays in the Marlon Wayans haunted stuff, the haunted house stuff that the Marlon Wayans guy do. She's the mother, and the Everybody Hates Chris dad is Terry Crews. And what's the lady? What's the girl name from? She looked like them, Tia Tamara and them, and she, but she not them. But she was in the Marlon Wayans haunted house stuff. I can't think.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Little light skinned chick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
No, I see her.
You know who I'm talking about, Austin?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't call.
You can't think of her name, but yeah, she was in all the Marlon Wayans his little haunted house stuff. Hold on a minute. But anyway, they got a series called Are We There Yet? And it was an episode where she wanted to the daughter wanted to go on vacation. They didn't have the money to go on vacation. And so he tried to create a Hawaiian thing. Her name is Essence Atkins. Okay. So he tried to create a vacation where he got a backdrop of palm trees and a beach and all that stuff. And the girl was very disrespectful in that episode. The main thing was he was going all out his way spending the money that he did have to make sure that, he put lawn chairs and things in the backyard. He made the coconut stuff. You know, he did a good job at creating a home Hawaiian vacation. And so he got Lady Gaga was in town. She was doing a concert. He had access, he thought, to get some Lady Gaga tickets. And so the girl trying to look good for her friends and on social media and all that stuff. And the Lady Gaga tickets didn't come through. The radio guy wasn't able to get his radio connect wasn't able to get the Lady Gaga ticket. And boy, she had a fit. Oh, this is the worst vacation ever. This is not a vacation. This not this. It's not that. And the mom just sat there and let that child storm off and then correct them. And I was like, he felt real down. He was like, and I just tried to make this happen. And the mom was just sitting there. And at that moment, you know, and that's why I say a lot of men, a lot of times if you show a man appreciation, a lot of times appreciation to a man goes a long way. And so when she did that, he was feeling down and all that stuff. So that was showing me that a lot of times the mother don't demand that respect like our mothers did, like the grandma did. Because when that girl said, this is the worst vacation ever, this sucks, and I hate this, and I hate you, and all that stuff, she storms off. That mama was supposed to grab that arm and tear that girl ass up. But she didn't. She let that girl storm out. She didn't say, even if she didn't touch her, she was supposed to say, hey, you get back here. You apologize to him. None of that shit happened. So that's where I feel like a lot of men of today, like, they got enough stuff going on within themselves, even if they have children of their own that they're paying child support for, children of their own that they have to spend time with, to be dealing with a disrespectful teen. And like even if they're not a teen, my brother was dating someone, and the mother didn't demand respect because I guess the daughter wanted the mama and her dad back together. And like the therapist that was on here last week, and everybody was saying, and even Austin brought up, a lot of times those so-called stepchildren want their biological dad back with the biological mom, and they're not gonna give in or play favoritism to the stepfather because they don't want them together. And so they're gonna they're gonna do manipulative things to create issues within that household. Some may even go as far as to lie like you touched them, or lie like you cursed them out when you didn't, just because you say, hey, go in and wash the dishes. If there's no cameras in the house, they bound to say, he cursed me out and gonna tell me to go wash dishes. I have friends around, and he might say, hey, you supposed to be in there washing dishes. She'll say, make up a lie like he cursed her out and get the friends to back her up, and the mom goes with the friends. So it's a lot dealing with stepchildren today, especially if the mother doesn't demand respect.
Real,
you know.
that's
So
real. Yeah, that's real.
That's the issue. When I grew up, it was respect demanded in every household I stayed at. If I was living with my brother at the time, I had to respect him and his wife. They was yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You know, it wasn't no, I just go talk to him when I want to do something. I whisper it to him. In the beginning, that's what I wanted to do. But then he'll say, no, anything you need to say it in front of my wife. You know, so they made me respect the mother figure in that home.
Right.
So, and when I was with my sisters, living with them, they made me respect the father figure in that home. The parents of today are too busy trying to live their best life, make up for if they got pregnant at 13, 14, 15 years old, they missed that doing whatever they did, that 5-year gap when they had to be there with the child, they missed that. So they're too busy catching up on their life to make that child respect what's going on in the home. I'm trying to make up for what I missed. So we had more eyes on us growing up. You know what I'm saying? The mothers would go to work. Some of them came home. Some of them didn't work because the man was taking care of everything. But the ones that did work, when she came home, she's looking for everything wrong that we did or didn't do. Right. So they stayed on us. Today, parents are too busy trying to turn up and live their lives till they miss the most important part. And that's making that person respect the man who's making sure the lights are on in the house, the man who's making sure we have running water, the man who's making sure you have clothes on your back. And if I was to get disrespectful to a brother-in-law that was trying to play the stepdad, the father role, if I got disrespect, not only did I get my ass whooped, but I got a rundown on what he did, right, which made me respect him.
Right.
That TV in your room, I didn't have no money to get that TV. He bought that TV for you. When you went to that concert, I didn't want you to go. He said, let you go. So then you start seeing that that step parent is on your side. You know what I'm saying? And that makes you warm up and give them the respect and treat them as such. But today they don't do that. Especially if the father, the biological father is in their life, the mom could care less how that stepfather feel. A lot of them, because they like, hey, he know he's not her dad, so let's just say he wants to take her to an amusement park. The dad want to take her to the mall and go buy some shoes. She's gonna go to the mall to go get those shoes, and you know, and make that stepfather sometimes feel less. And then and once you get your heart broken a few times, you don't like that feeling, so you opt out. So I feel like that's why a lot of the men are opting out today, because the parents, the mother is not putting their foot down to make that child respect the man that's in that household.
Yeah, I want to read this. This is from, and I'm gonna put the link there. The area of medicine dealing with stepfathers and blended families and the African American male. It says the present study focuses on African American stepfathers for several reasons. First, although African American men are nearly twice as likely as African American women to be step parents, the research on African American stepfathers is scant. Second, African American men are especially at risk for depression due to their disproportionate exposure to stresses such as racial discrimination, unemployment, and poverty. Although some studies have reported there is no racial differences in mental health, other studies report that African Americans in general experience significant high levels of psychological distress. Recently, a 2012 report released by the Office of Minority that African Americans are more than likely than whites to experience serious psychological distress, in addition to being a major health concern. Depressive symptoms among African American men, especially to the family environment. And it says that more than 4 out of 10 American families today are step families. And it's becoming more common. So I read that to say we're dealing with more than just dealing with the children. We're dealing with what's happening outside of the doors, outside of that house. When we step outside as Black men, when we go to work, here it is, we going to work to take care of a family, take care of children that's not biologically ours, but we're going through the stresses of life to make sure that they're maintained. And fathers are experiencing the depression, and a lot experiencing the depression by going out, working, dealing with the racial discrimination, things that we deal with, for them to come home and not be respected by that family. Now, the quality of, that's where the teamwork comes in with the mother. there has to be an understanding with the mother, and it has to be respect has to be garnered before you decide you want to be with this family and tie yourself to this family. Because I think it's in Michigan. Michigan, they have what they call a default father clause, and I think they're fighting it now. But it's a default father clause that if you, as an individual, get with a woman, she have a baby, had that baby, though you're not the father, you're going to be liable for paying child support until that child is 18. So even if you and that woman don't make it, you still responsible for a child that's not yours in the state of Michigan. So
yeah, they
now,
like to fight that.
So now when they've deemed it unconstitutional now, but just to show you some of the traps that they have, Jay, don't they have in the state of Texas the common laws to where if you stay with a woman for a certain length of time, that you're responsible for that, for those children that woman have. Isn't that what that is in the state of Texas? It kind of helped me interpret that if that's true or not. Well, I heard that's what it is.
Not really. I mean, you're not really responsible for those kids in that sense. But, the only time that really comes into effect is if you're married and she gets pregnant. And even if she gets pregnant by someone else, you're still responsible for those kids.
Still responsible for that child. Still responsible for that child.
That is crazy.
Texas. So a lot of people nowadays, the way I think the government, they found a way to hit a lick. Lack of words, but to get money in the child support industry, we're gonna say it's an industry. The government making a profit by forcing men to pay for children that may not necessarily be theirs. The woman probably stepped out on him, had a baby on him, but he's still responsible for taking care of some other man's child. Though she's caught in infidelity, she's having this baby, she had that baby, he found out that baby's not his, he's still responsible for taking care of that child. So
I say you need to get a good lawyer.
A lot of times, men don't want to go through that financial responsibility. If they want to do that, they'd rather deal with that with their own children. And I'm not knocking nobody as a stepfather, because I had a stepfather. But you're longing for your biological father, because that's natural for you to want to have your biological father in your life. Now, sometimes the biological father died, or in our nature, we always want to know where we came from. I know I want to do research on my whole family and see, where I came from, because you want to know your history, your propensities, the things that you do. So nothing wrong with a blended family, but blended families do issue some challenges. And then you got to look at another thing. I had a partner that fell in love with her stepbrother. So she was having sex with her stepbrother when the parents leave. So you got to deal with two human beings, if you're male or female, they're in the household and they may be attracted to each other. They're not biologically connected, but they through marriage. But here it is, they having sex with each other. The father abusing the daughter. The father want to have sex with the daughter. I've heard stories of that. So you dealing with the trauma, because this ain't my child. I'm not related to her. I married her mama, but she fine too. So I want the mama and the daughter in some cases. And you got men that's been going on in the 80s, 90s until today that you dealing with that aspect as well.
Now, I mean, now the flip side of that, I have
Flip
seen
side.
some blended families that actually
Successful.
work well together.
Yeah.
So, all blended families don't experience these.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Of
the
course.
ones I was in was
Of
always
course.
that they were for the good.
Of course.
That's why when I see um a disrespectful child towards a step parent, that really irks me because like I said, I've been in them and I have nothing but the utmost respect and love for mine because they all treated me as if I were theirs.
Right.
And especially if that father is treating them like that step parent is treating them like they're their biologicals and they're still being disrespectful and the
Mhm.
biological parent don't put that foot down, I have no respect for that particular biological parent and never will.
Right. Right. Right.
That's
Right.
just and if you pull up the statistics of the children, especially the males that's growing up without a father figure in the home or without a positive father figure role in that child's life, those are the ones that go to jail. Those are the ones that's dying before 25. Do the research. The numbers are there for those who like numbers. Um, and it's just sad on how important a male figure is in a young male's life. But
Yeah, it is.
society try to preach that it doesn't matter. That the female try to preach that no man is needed in my role of raising this child. But if you look at the numbers, and like they say, people lie, numbers don't. The numbers show that the children that's growing up in these single parent households are more likely, especially the males, are more likely to drop out of school, more likely to go to jail, more likely to um, end up getting shot or dying before the age of 25. So I think the male presence in the home, especially today, is very, 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 very important. So if there's
Right.
anybody out there shacking, because the marriage rate is down. So if anybody living uh, with your mate, male and female living together, two parent household, and you have children, and that guy is trying to be a stepfather to your children, even though their biological father is in their life, you have to establish some type of respect in that household
Right.
because you just never know that respect you create in that household can go a long way into molding your son. I'm mainly speaking on the son's future with having that male in there and all of the men. Now men are now winning their boys, their children in court. So it's very important that that man makes that child respect that woman, or if it's a blended family, uh, and he gets his children. They all need to have that mutual respect, and that need to be established soon as they decide they're going to be together. Soon as you introduce that child, how you introduce that child to that parent is how that child's going to perceive that parent from their own. If you just say, "Hey, this is Jonathan, this Sierra," and you just leave it at that, that's where that is just going to be that. You have to say, "This is Jonathan. This is Sierra. He's my husband, or this is my man who I plan to marry. He's going to be here at the house. You're going to give him the same respect you would if it was James, the biological father." So it's like it's how you introduce that child, especially if that child respects you. But if you walk into a family, a ready-made family, single mom, and that child don't respect that mother, chances are that child's not going to respect you, and she's not going to make that child respect you because hell, she can't make that child respect her. So it's just a up and down situation, especially today with the don't tell my child what to do, don't put your hands on my child. So you're dealing with all of that, and then the child have to come to, it's the household is divided. So when the child wants something, I'm gonna go to my mama because that's my mama. I'm not gonna ask him nothing. And then if the mom partake that and let that go by doing whatever behind the step father's back, that turns into a regular behavior, which is going to create more issues in that. And a lot of times men don't have time, for the foolishness, but they still stay in that relationship. Where to me, it'd be hard for me to stay in that relationship if I'm not being respected, because the main thing I want in a relationship is respect.
Right. And at times the child can play the step parent against the other parent, because they can try to manipulate that situation because they know the step parent wants to be in good with them and be in good with the parent. So they manipulate that situation. But if you're a single parent, male or female, and you're raising your child to be respectful, then you're not going to run into these issues when you bring someone else in the picture. Right. Because they already have that basis and that foundation of respect. But it's those that are not that are already not respecting their parent or their parents, whichever way it goes, that you're going to run into those issues with.
Right. That's real. We want to reset the room. What's going on? This is the Speak On It podcast. We got D Black. We got Jay Austin in the building, and we got my partner Rich Man, aka Rich Man, Richard Bailey, Mr. Melvin TV.
What up, brother?
Man. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man.
My partner, some of your videos, man. You be on it, man. You be on it, man.
Yeah, your content. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, man. Right, quick. Any criticisms, feedback? Anything I can do better?
Man, just keep doing what
you're
doing.
Right now, you're rolling. Just keep it going.
Yeah, just keep it going. Hey, Black, you want to kind of give me information? Yeah.
The minute you take that break, it's gonna be hell getting back to the level you're at now.
Right, exactly.
Keep doing it. Keep bringing content.
It's kind of like hitting the gym, and I have to explain to people. They be like, "Why you? Won't you just chill out the day?" The wife be like, "Oh, just lay up the day and look at TV." No, because as soon as I stop, I'm gonna get out of rhythm. So while I got it in me and I'm trying to go, let me get it. And that's how we have to be with these podcasts. It's been plenty of nights where I used to say, "Not tonight, man. Let's take a break." And Jay was like, "No, we got to be consistent." So I'll go in there and I'll go and do me a couple of push-ups, drink me a Red Bull, come on here 30 minutes late, and now I'm ready. But I was ready to cross the bed before he told me I need to get my ass up and come on to the damn podcast. So it's consistency, man, and you're doing your thing.
Doing your
Thank
thing.
You, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Black, you want to tell them what we got going?
Yeah, we just catching up on the step parenting, stepfathers, and why a lot of men today are opting out of being stepfathers. They're stepping down. They don't want the responsibility. And as a result of that, we see every day, like in Monroe, 2 16-year-olds got into it. One 16-year-old killed the other 16-year-old. Single parent household, left with a mother. And the father, the women are so independent that they're actually saying now that they don't need men, and they're thinking selfishly about themselves. I know it's more about, I don't need you to pay my bills. They got the roles now. I don't need you for sex. But that they're not looking at what about with raising that child, being that you're a single parent. So you got to get out there and hustle, whether you're going to work, whether you stripping, whether you're doing whatever, you're going to have to leave that child to make that money. So who's raising the child? Social media. But if you had a the father coming home from work, that you give authority and make that child give respect to him, he's going to help you raise that child. They don't think about the help that a father figure brings to that household. All they main is concerned, I got a good job, I got my apartment, I got me a car, I don't need no man for nothing. I'm making my own money, can't no man tell me nothing. But yet a lot of the women who say that have 2, 3, 4, and 5 kids running around there that they throwing on their mom, they're throwing on the child's grandmother, they throwing it on the baby daddy grandmama, because baby daddy running the streets too, 9 times out of 10. So, so that ain't her place to say, I don't need no man. If anything, she need, when you get, I'm going to say 2 to 3 kids and you 25 years old, 26 to 30, and you got that many kids, it's time for you to come in. It's time for you to find a mature man to help you take care of them take care of them kids.
Well, therein lies the issue, though. Therein lies the issue. So, when you have that many kids, then what type of man are you getting?
Right.
And then it comes into a trust thing also, because again, what type of man are you getting?
Right.
What are they actually doing in your household? It's just not having a man in the house. It's having a positive male in the house, one that can positively influence your household, your children, and you. So if you don't have that in a man, then you just have another kid to raise.
Right. That's right.
But see, the problem is this. This is where it gets foul. In order for her to get a guy like that, that's going to have to be a good, righteous brother, right?
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. They don't want the good, righteous brothers. They want Man and Pookie. And they want to convert Man and Pookie into the righteous brother, which makes absolutely no sense. You throw the good guy under the bus so you can go date Man and Pookie and hope he gonna turn around and be the good guy that you always wanted. That makes no sense. That's counterproductive.
Right.
It makes absolutely no sense. Not to say this, man, about our community. I spent 27 years on the West Coast between Seattle, Washington, and Las Vegas. I also did a year in Oakland. And I hung out with several nationalities, white, Indian, Filipinos, Chinese, whatever. We're the only community who got women talking about they don't need a man. You don't hear that from the other communities. Trust me, I was right there underneath them. They had a structure. All those other communities, the man ran the household. It was a patriarchal society. And the man ran everything. Of course, the woman had input. But at the end of the day, the man made the last decision. And like I said, we're the only community who women want to be out front and ahead of us. It turns into a competition instead of them trying to be a help me like things are supposed to be. It goes like this: God, Jesus, the husband, wife, then the kids. You see, the thing is, the woman today, the sisters today, they want to be ahead of the man. And I'm going to sit here and use my degree. I'm going to use my accolades. I'm going to use my money that I make. I'm going to use my nice car, this big old house I'm in with nobody in it but a dog and a cat. And I'm going to throw this in your face because I want to compete with you as a male, and not knowing that you putting off all kind of masculine energy. And men not going to put up with that. Now, a boy, that's right. Yeah, a boy, that's right down his alley.
Right.
He got somewhere to stay. He can drive your car and drop you off and ride around with his boys all day. He can play PlayStation all day and eat all your kids' fruit snacks. He can do all that.
Right.
But see, those are the guys they want these guys, man, because they want to convert them over, which makes absolutely no sense. Why would you get a guy that you got a man that's already together? Why go get Pookie and Man who you got to try to straighten out? It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Right.
You know?
That's right. That's right. Appreciate that, Rich.
They don't look at what that righteous brother brings to the table. They're going after the popularity. They're going after the good looks. They're going after the ones who they say got good sex. They're going after that. They're not looking at, let me find a man to help me get to the next level. Let me find now. If it's a few of them that realize when they have 2 kids and they turn around and say, well, man, I done got 2 kids. let me go ahead and just, Jonathan likes me. Jonathan got a good job. Jonathan is trying to show me structure. You have a few that'll go ahead and get with Jonathan, but then you run into, if they get married, will she stay faithful to Jonathan? Because he'll turn into a good provider, but he's not who I want. So it's a catch-22, man. It's hell out here now. And social media don't make it no better. I don't give a damn. They can call it insecurities and all they want to. Social media is fucking the Black community head up.
Yep. I said it once and I say it again. Social media has been a gift and it has been a curse. More like a curse for our community, a gift for everybody else. It's a gift because you can do what we're doing now. Podcasts, guys are making millions of dollars doing this right now. You know, you can get on here and sell your products. You can get on here and promote yourself. Not just here in the States, inside the United States. You can promote yourself all over the place.
All over the world.
That music, me and my boy, you know Jonathan James.
Yeah.
I posted some of that music on Spotify. Man, I got cats in Africa buying that music. I got cats in Asia buying that music.
Right.
You know, I was like, wow, I'm sitting there like, wow, this is crazy. So that's the blessing of social media. The curse of social media is OnlyFans. All these other sites that a lot of ladies can go on and put themselves on here scantily clad, no class. Then when you say something about it, they say you're hating on them or you must be GAY and all this other stuff, anything to make you shut up. And that's the thing. Like I say, social media has definitely been a gift, but it definitely has been a curse as well. And back in the day when it comes to dating, you were kind of forced to date the person in your area or a couple towns over. Now you can date somebody. Well, I don't like this person. I can just get online and meet somebody else in 2 minutes. They can take me out to eat and I can go get some food and all this and I can go hook up and we can smash. And if I don't like them, then I can just monkey branch on to the next person. That's what social media does.
Right. Hey, how you doing, Chanel? Appreciate that, Rich. How you doing? Could you hear me?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How are you guys?
You're doing good.
Great.
Glad you made it on. Glad you made it on.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late to the party. Had a little late client, you know.
Yes,
but I jumped in there just in enough time at the women and what kind of man to have in her house. Yeah. And I started off in the comments, and what I wanted to add to that was that you have to look at the systemic parts of that. And so the masculine woman, if you will, a woman can't be feminine in a space that there's no masculinity to protect her. Right. Because then masculine energy has to take care of the household. Right. And so, and of course, it's hard to attract a masculine person, a man, with that masculine energy. Right. And so, but I need that to take care of these kids, to protect these kids, because there's nobody to protect them. Right. And so, I have to figure out a way to get that done. I got to figure out a way to get that done. And so, how do what's the balance, right? What do you think is the balance between, you know, handling this business on my own? Because I've had these children for men that I've chosen wrong. I've chosen wrong in the past. So this fool ain't taking care of them. So one, I don't trust my choices. And this is therapeutically. I don't trust my choices to come out here and find the proper man, right? And I have trauma, or my daddy wasn't there. I don't know what that looks like, right? And I've already chosen wrong. So how do I choose? How do I get the right man, right? That's going to help me with these kids, right? And I also don't want to set out to get a man that's just to take care of my kids, because I want a mate for me, right? And so I want to find somebody that can take care of my needs as well as take care of the needs of these kids, right? And I have a few friends who have some different opinions as far as, I don't necessarily need to have a man in my life that's going to take care of my kids, right? Again, depending on if they have a male role model already. And
how old are your kids, if I'm not being
now I have grown kids. I'm done with that. Divorced.
But you good.
I'm just saying as an example. And again, I got divorced with my kids. I have adopted kids who are adults. And my oldest biological child was 14, 15 at the time. And my youngest about 13 or so. No, less than that, because they're 5
And
years
you
apart.
say you adopted. Did you adopt with a man in the home or without a man?
Yes, I adopted with my ex-husband.
Okay.
Yeah, we did that together.
And you stayed with them until the kids were grown, right?
Well, these kids were almost grown when we got them. So we adopted teenage kids.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were all out of the house by the time we got divorced.
What about your biological?
They were not grown. They were teenagers.
So the biological was teenagers when you were with your ex-husband.
Uh-huh.
When you guys got divorced, were they still teens or were they out of the house?
Yeah, one was 14 and one was like 9 because they're 5 years apart. So
wow. So and this was a stepfather or their biological?
It's the biological.
Okay. And just a question. When he left, y'all decided to split up. Honestly, how bad did it affect the children? Being that they grew up with you all together, and now they gotta finish school, go to college with
my
you.
older child.
Yes,
it affected her so. My baby girl, it hurt her a lot. It hurt her a lot.
Right.
And you guys just couldn't tough it out. It was just because it's a brother that came on here. It was a brother that came on here a while back when we did a podcast on one of our episodes, and he stressed the fact he knew his wife was cheating, but he stayed with her because he didn't want it to mess with the kid's psyche. I was totally against that. I was like, I don't give a damn, because at the end of the day, I got to have my sanity to even continue to raise these kids. So I'm not going to be coming home every day in a house that I'm unstable in, laying under. If I'm not sleeping in the bed with her, I'm sleeping on the couch in a house that I'm paying mortgage in. I can't live like that.
And
so one of us is gonna have to go.
Yeah, that's toxic.
What are you teaching your children when you do stuff like that? You're not showing them a happy relationship.
Right.
But I know they did that
moment when I was like, I should stay for the kids.
Yeah.
And God said, and what are you teaching your girls to stay with a person just because? Just because of the kids? Are you happy? Are you showing them what it looks like to be in a healthy relationship? No, I'm not.
But back in the day, our parents and grandparents did that.
They did.
And they did it with no problem. They was like, but we also saw
it wasn't a problem. It was a problem.
We saw. Well, I'm saying but the fact that they was just comfortable, pretending to be comfortable staying in it. But when Dad was at work, and you hear your mama on that phone and you see those tears coming down her eyes, you know what I'm saying? You knew that it wasn't a healthy situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then she would tell you, I can't wait till y'all, and I know, I know everybody on here that heard the parents say, I'll be glad when y'all get grown so I can get out of this, situation. Yeah. And so I used to hear mine say it. I used to hear say it, man. And I think that's why I'm against it. So if me and whoever I'm with, we raise the kids together and it just don't work, I'm out of there. Because when they finally split up after all us went to college, they finally broke up. She snuck out. You know what I'm saying? She waited till he was at work, the mill workers working 16 hours. She moved all her stuff. She had already had everything planned. When he came home, it was acoustic in the house. If he go, how do I? You hearing it echo? He's pouring some men in that joker. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know that. He came home to an empty house, and that devastated him because he didn't know. Their problem was lack of communication. She was an emotional person. He wasn't, so he didn't cater to her emotional side. And a lot of stuff, all he figured is, if I'm going out here making this money, paying this rent, paying this mortgage, paying this car note, everybody eating, kids got clothes on their back, we got a roof over our head, we got running water. He felt like he's doing his thing. So 16 hours, 18 hours, picking up shifts.
That's what y'all are taught. That's what y'all taught would make the man, right?
Right. And so he figured that was enough. But when they split up, her excuse was, and that's what my first time hearing is when she said it, was emotional abuse. He wasn't hitting on her because we always thought of abuse was somebody hitting you. He said she was fed up. She was going to the doctors and stuff because it was an emotional abuse.
How many hours a day was he working?
Oh, 16. I'm talking about.
Okay, see the thing. This is the thing right here. A lot of ladies have to understand. Okay, you want a guy that's a provider that's gonna sit here and pay for everything and bring food in and all this thing. You're not gonna be able to have it both ways.
That's right.
You're gonna get a great provider, but guess what? He has to be at work. They're not gonna hand him the paycheck. He has to go earn it. So he has to go earn the money. You have to pick your poison, right? You're gonna pick a dude who has an okay job that works 8 to 10 hours a day. He can come home and lay up with you, and you guys can watch Lifetime together and do all the lovey-dovey stuff. Okay, that's great. But the guy that's out there getting it out there humping, he's gonna work 12 to 16 hours, 5 to 6 days a week. When he gets home from work, being lovey-dovey is the last thing on his mind. He's trying to get a shower. He's trying to go to bed. And you guys probably have to start scheduling in sex sessions and a bunch of other stuff because he's tired. You know, if she's a stay-home wife or whatever, hell, she's energized. She's been sitting around all day waiting for him to get home. But he's been out there grinding.
Right there. Don't do that. Don't do that sitting at home all day stuff. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, some women can.
Work.
Some can.
With the children is work.
Oh, I get it, but you know, the kids be at school, you still just sit around. You at home.
No, we got to clean.
And I want you to talk to some single fathers that stay at home and do it. It's work, man.
Yeah, it's work because before you know it, okay, because when you drop those kids off at school, by the time you get home, clean the house, decide what you're gonna prepare for dinner, it's time to go pick them up. It's time to go pick the kids up.
Yeah.
I never had to play Mr. Mom, so I don't
like doing that. When I saw her doing that,
I'll give you 7 days, 5 days, you know, to do that every single day without help. You'll see how much work it really is. It's not
you can't do nothing. Let's just say if she want to go, she have to go to the grocery store to get the food to make that meal for that evening. Or let's just say that they need milk. By the time she dropped the kids off, go to the grocery store, clean up, it's time to go get the kids again. And now she got to get home, cook, help them with homework. I mean, it's not
a stop.
And it took me to take off when the COVID thing hit to actually see what was going on. Staying in the home, working from home, watching her. I'm finna go pick the kids. I'm finna go drop the kids off. Oops, man, I gotta go pick the kids up. And she just brought me lunch. And then the next 30 or 45 minutes, I hear the garage door going up. She's going to go pick the kids up. And I'm like, oh, time flew today. But she ain't had time to do nothing. By the time she put on 2 loads of clothes, 2 loads of clothes in the washer, put one of them in the dryer, then made my lunch. Now it's time to go pick the kids up. But I'm like, man, they don't spend no time at school. But also, with that being said, and I'm just going to throw this in, and it's another topic, probably off script, but time is not what it used to be. I think, like, when we were growing up, an hour, you had time to take a nap, a bath, a nap, and then you still have 15 minutes. You're looking at your mama. Is it time to go yet? Now an hour is more like 30 minutes. It's not the same.
Yeah, time is sped up for some reason.
Yeah, I bet if you Google that, because I said I was going to Google it. I bet if we look that up, someone else is saying the same thing. Time is not what it used to be. You let your mama tell you back in the 80s that you got an hour before we go. You had time to lay in your bed, take you a nap.
It was a real hour, yeah.
It was an hour. An hour. Time is 30 minutes. A woman's
I would definitely agree though with the premise that that you cannot have it both ways, right? You can't have somebody that's gonna make all the money and work 17,000 hours and have the
he be at home. He be at
home. Lovey-dovey time, right?
So that's where again communication comes in, making compromises or negotiating, and what is this going to look like, right? Yeah. I'm not the type that's gonna be a stay-at-home mama. I don't like it, right? It's not my jam and stuff. So and I'm not, I'm a worker bee. I'm an entrepreneur. I need to have my hands in something and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And So a mate that the kind of mate that I need is a mate that's going to understand that, right?
Right.
And stuff. And I don't have a whole lot of time. So yeah, that means, and in any relationship that you have to curate time. You know, especially once you have kids, you have to curate time. You got to make a schedule. You might have to have a date night. You might have to schedule sex. You know, that's just grown up stuff. That's just grown up stuff. You know, so you won't be two ships passing in the night. It takes effort to have a decent and loving relationship. But it also means that, just like you was talking about before, this gentleman didn't understand that extra was needed, because y'all are taught as men, go to work, pay the bills, provide. These are the things you need to do to be a man. Emotions don't have nothing to do with that. But that's not how you build a loving relationship. You know
especially now.
Women, not at all.
Women,
and to be honest, it's never been like that. It's just that we were curated that way. We were taught that that's the way it is, and so that's how it's going to be. And now we're figuring out, you know what, we need a little bit more. You know, I think even for men who claim to be non-emotional, and y'all have just as much emotions as we have. You just learn to suppress them, which is not healthy, right? And then you end up with abusive men who have not expressed those emotions or was never allowed to cry when he needed to cry, you know, and now he's toxic. He has toxic masculinity because he doesn't know how to express those things when he needs to express them. Why? Because there ain't no safe space for him. Because we also, as women, have not learned to give you a safe space without throwing it in your face or something, or without name calling, or using it later, or whatever. And so there needs to be, in any relationship, especially circling back around, if a woman is going to have a man in her life where she can help her take care of these kids and such, then it needs to be a mutual thing. It needs to be a communicative thing. It needs to be a curated, just, you know, relationships take time and work and effort and communication. If you don't have that, then it's not going to work.
You know, Chanel.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just I had a thought what you said, Rich. When they dealt with when you dealt with the woman not doing nothing at home, I understood from the lens where you came from that you do have some women that just sit at home, don't do nothing.
And they do. You're right.
Some
just look cute and pretty. That's their job.
Yeah, just want to be cute and pretty. Now, there's a clip on the internet right now of a woman that date a rich man, and she's talking about and telling other women the price that you're going to pay for dating rich men. He said, "Yeah, okay, you want to be with a rich man. That rich man has that, but that rich man is not going to always be available all the time.
That's right.
In order for him to maintain what he has, he's not going to be able to hang around you and do this shit because." They fall in love with the romance of being with a man that got everything, but with the reality of it, he's not gonna be at home all the time. He probably got 10,000. If he got 10,000 employees that he's head of, that means he's taking care of 10,000 families, making sure that those people that work there are paid, that they can maintain their family. So there's a price and a level of sacrifice if you're going to stay at home and he goes to work, understand that, hey, he's not going to be with me 24/7. He can't hang out. He's going to be tired when I come home. At least I can do is come home to a clean house. He can come home to a meal. That's something he can do. You know, what Black said, he saw the reality of what it is because being a mother over children, God made the mom head of the children. And she's really the manager of the house. She really manages the house when the husband is gone. She manages the children. Father comes in as the authority. Hey, I'm gonna tell your dad if you don't do such and such and such. Because I know how it was when I was coming up, and I was doing something in my cousin's house, and my uncle came in and was the authority. So I understand that mom, that's a job within itself. Being a mother, being a housewife. People tell you, I'm a housewife. Don't think that's an easy job because it's not. But when you sit around lazy, don't want to do nothing, this man come home 16, 17 hours a day and it's junk. I think that's the point brother was making.
I've seen that.
On that.
I've seen that too.
Coming home to
no food cooked.
No nothing.
Food cooked. The babies.
And then they wonder why.
Yeah.
When that woman on the job, that coworker, bring him a sandwich and a soda, why he praises her so much?
He's like,
So work husband, work wife. Work wife. Yeah, the work wife, man. She'll take care of him.
And then, but the meal workers used to they good at messing with the husband's psyche. Like they'll go and buy a Cadillac, and the wife will be in the Cadillac, but you know that man working 16 hours, so he never have a chance to be in it, and he bought it for the wife. Oh man, I seen that car you bought your wife down the road, riding down my street the other day, and now he's sitting there thinking I'm working all these hours while she riding up and down the road in the car. Man, I've seen a lot of stuff coming up. And then a lot of times those women, even today, that hard-working man, working them 16 hours and providing and everything, them the main ones that's getting messed over today because she telling the side guy his hours.
Right.
The side dude knows his whole schedule.
No,
it's crazy. Like I say, that's off the script, but we got that coming up too. But it's hell out here, and like she say, it's more. You need more than that man making that money.
Right.
That woman needs time. That woman gonna need attention. She's gonna need someone to talk to. She's gonna need someone to hang with. And she wanted to be that man. But if that man's out there like what Bobby Womack and Jodeci said, he can't be at two places at one time. But that woman's feeling lonely.
Right.
You know, she's lonely. And that's where a lot of the infidelity comes in, I feel like, in the relationships when you're not on the same accord. If that woman would sit back and say, hey, like I said on the previous podcast, we need to make $5,000 a month. He out there getting this $5,000 a month. I'm able to contribute $1,500 a month, or vice versa. Whichever one is out there making sure we meet that $5,000 a month, why can't they just get on the same boat, same train, and just ride that shit out? Why I gotta feel lonely? Oh, she working too much, not going and get me a side. Oh, he working so much, and she go get him a side, and everybody's sneaking. You know, I mean, I don't get it, but social media got it so easy for us to access these people, you know, and like I said on a previous podcast, and we probably gonna add more to it on another episode. Back in the day, I used to wonder what did Sheila look like, Sheila Wilson, and all I did was just wonder, you know, man, that was a high school love, or that was a college love. Wonder what Sheila Wilson looked like. Now I can just type in Instagram, Facebook. Oh man, that's Sheila right there. She lives in Marshall, Texas. I'm only 4 hours from there. Let me see. And you got a whole wife. Yeah. You trying to see when you meet up with Sheila in Marshall, Texas. You know, I got a gig down there. I got to go and this, that, and that. You finna drive all the way 4 hours, Marshall, Texas. But back in the day, you just wondered. And then if she come in town for a family reunion or somebody died or something, somebody tell you she there. Oh yeah, she still look the same. Blah blah. And then you go home. But now you DM.
Back in the day, you just dated who was near to you. Now you can date whomever. You can date somebody in Washington State, Maine, Florida, and California. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? Like here, I'm here in Dallas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Hell, I could have a woman in Plano. I can have a woman in Duncanville. I can have a woman in Fort Worth. I can have a woman wherever. Right. What are the odds they're gonna run into each other? They're not.
Especially the single man. Right. But like I say, with the problem that a lot of them running into, a lot of men will date, but they're not gonna take. A lot of them are not taking women with 2 or more kids serious these days. Like Austin said on the previous podcast, that costs. It costs money, more money when you're getting into ready-made families. Man, the bottom line. Not to devalue nothing, because we are here to replenish. You know what I'm saying? We're here to multiply. But getting into a ready-made family with 3 or more kids, with the prices that everything is today, and to get in that without that proper respect is hell for a black man to deal with.
I'm gonna share a story with you guys and get a second.
Go ahead.
All the years I lived in Seattle, right? I was in a 5-year relationship with this young lady, and she had 2 boys when I met her. You know, I have a stepfather, so I really didn't see a problem with me being a stepfather, even though their dad was still in and out of their life here and there. Fast forward, we were supposed to get married. We actually flew down to Vegas to get married. She got cold feet at the last second. Okay, we didn't get married, no problem. It is what it is. But make a long story short, after all the PTAs, staying home with the sick kids, dropping them off, picking them up at football practices, going to games, you name it. I did everything a normal dad would do. Then we got to the point to where the relationship wasn't working out. So we ended up parting ways. And the only question I had to her was this. I said, hey, we're not working out. It is what it is. You know, that's life. But can I still come around and see the boys, or at least just come pick them up and take them places? This is what she hit me with. And this is why I don't do the stepfather thing. She said, why do you care what they do? You're not their father anyway.
What?
Right. Well,
I'm telling you, dude.
Before somebody say something, let me 5 years.
5 years.
Let me say this, and then I'm gonna let everybody else chime in. If we would have flew to Vegas to get married and she got cold feet, somebody was gonna get married. Her mama, her friend. I'm marrying somebody because I didn't spend all this money. Even if I had somebody at the casino, somebody was gonna get married.
Right.
And after she got cold feet, her feet, I would never know her feet was ever cold again. So as soon as we got off that goddamn flight, we went to that house. I was packing my shoes.
Man,
I'm out of this.
We had a ceremony at the house with no pastor and nothing. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? This is silly.
Right.
But anyway, that cut deep, man. It took everything inside me not to grab her and just choke shit out of her. Excuse me for cursing. But that's how I felt at the time.
You was
hurt.
You were fine. She put it on you. She put that on you. But you didn't even tolerate the house thing. I wouldn't have done nothing.
Hey, but
you would develop a relationship.
Exactly. When I met her, her youngest son was 2. When I left, he was 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, that's the thing. And see, this is why a lot of guys are bowing out to do the whole stepfather thing, because at the end they get burnt. They do all this work, and as soon as those 2 guys break up, now all of a sudden they can't see the kids no more, and it's over. And she just gonna monkey branch to the new dude, and hopefully he'll do the same thing he was doing. So a lot of guys like, you know what? Forget this. I know I did a video about this cat. He wanted this girl to move in with him, her and her daughter, but he told her straight up, you can move in, I'll take care of you, but I do not want to be financially responsible for your daughter. That's on you.
Remember I told you that, Brizzle? I told Phantom that.
We always have a debate. Yeah, we always have debates about this.
Certain relationships, you have to get in them, and it depends on how much that mother gives you respect.
Right.
How much she gives you respect.
Right.
Yeah,
and how much control she gives you with her children's lives. Depends on how you walk in that relationship.
Right.
You're gonna have some where Lil Johnny need $30 to go on a road trip. Lil Johnny need to call his daddy. I don't promote that type of relationship because like they say it's toxic. But if that mother is not making that child gives you that utmost respect, some men, but you love that woman.
Yeah.
Some men are getting in those relationships. They have nothing to do with that child.
Look, when
Jay wanted to say something. Go ahead, Jay.
When getting into a ready-made family relationship, it's just like purchasing a used car that you don't get the Carfax on. Anything can go wrong.
That's right.
You're signing up for a buyer beware.
That's right.
And you have to equip yourself to know or to understand that these things can happen. that you may not be able, once you develop a relationship with the child, that relationship may not be able to continue after you and your person are no longer together.
Right. Right.
I also think it should, again, communication though. Let's talk about that in the beginning. Like what is your viewpoint? Because if I got with a person right now, I don't necessarily need them to have a relationship or any financial responsibility for my 16-year-old because I take care of that, you know.
Right.
And if she needs something, I'm gonna send her to her daddy, you know. But if you choose to do something for her as a gift, we appreciate it, right? I don't have that type of requirement. And so, and again, that's how I operate.
So if you were to remarry right now,
which ain't never happening because I don't believe in that stuff no more. But
if you were to remarry or have somebody coming over on a regular basis, spending the night, whatever, how would you introduce that child to your new mate? And what boundaries, being that the father is still involved in the life, what leeway, what does the new mate respect grounds?
I always expect my children to respect everybody that they come in contact with. We don't play the disrespect thing, right? And so you're gonna respect him as my mate, you're gonna respect him as a grown-ass man, you know, and my children operate in that. Right. I expect him to do nothing for her, right? But she still owe him the manner of respect because he's a grown man and he's my mate. Period.
Right.
Okay.
You know,
what if y'all get ready to go out and you had a late client,
right?
And he comes by the house to pick you up. You're late, so you're in the shower. Kitchen's a mess, and he tells the daughter, "Hey, I'm about to take your mom out. Do you mind cleaning up the kitchen to kind of, you know, give her a little help? Because you know, it's your birthday. He trying to do something nice for you. He asked the daughter to clean up the kitchen for you, even though you do it, but you're late and y'all get ready to go out. Kitchen's a mess.
Right.
So he asked her to clean up the kitchen. How would you feel about him asking your daughter to do something and he's not the biological father, and he asked her to clean up the kitchen? How would that situation go in your house?
And for me, that's not necessarily a my man thing. Like if any adult asks her, hey, take care of that for your mama, because you know it's my birthday, or you know, as long as he's not being disrespectful in the ask, you know, that's not an issue for me.
Wow.
It's not an issue for me.
Yeah.
You know, but I've been told that I'm different. So.
Oh yeah, you different.
I replied.
You different.
I don't subscribe to
you different.
Yeah, you
You
different.
know, and I
they
know
don't want
there
you
are
saying
women
if
that
you're
are
not
like, you can't tell my kid nothing.
Exactly.
It's a man that's in your life. So like, how are you going to invite this man to be a part of your life, but he can't tell your kids nothing? Even if I had little kids, right? You know, and he is intricately in my life, I expect them to respect him as a male, as my partner. You know, no, he's not your daddy, but he's a grown man. Right.
What if you want to physically discipline him?
To you, as long as he's not being inappropriate to you, I expect you to listen. I expect you to respect him. Period.
What about the physical discipline?
Oh,
we don't do physical discipline anyway.
Right.
Because I think
the physical discipline.
Understanding.
If you're not married,
last time I whooped my kids, I think it's been a minute. It's been a long time.
I feel like if you're not married, that the physical discipline shouldn't really be in there, unless you're in courtship and invested enough, and that's the plan to get married. And
but
most
again,
women
I'm not discussing those things ahead of time. Even me and my ex-husband, before we had kids, discussed: do we want to use physical discipline? What is our viewpoints on parenting and how we parent and all that? And we still have babies and we parent different, you know, but it's a mutual respect of this is how he parents and I'm not going to undermine that. And this is how she parents and I'm not going to undermine that. And if we have an issue later in the bedroom, we might be like, look, earlier when you told so-and-so such and such, I didn't really agree with that, but maybe we could, you know, and kind of talk things
Right,
out.
talk it out.
And this
Kids
kind
are
of
gonna
off the
affect
record.
parents regardless. They're gonna look for dissension.
And this kind of off the record, but I always preach: never let your mate go to bed angry. Try to resolve that issue
Resolve it.
before you guys lay down, because the sleepless night, they're gonna wake up with it on your mind, and it's gonna be 3 times worse. So try to clear that up when you get into bed. Even if you don't resolve that issue, at least bring it up to try to resolve it. Earlier, we had the issue without a doubt. Then agree to disagree, but at least you open that line, that barrier of communication up, and you know, try to.
Hey, Jay wanted to say something. Go ahead, Jay.
So, what I was about to ask: so, what level of communication or interaction do you feel that this person that's not their stepfather or someone that you're dating, or even the stepfather? So, if you have these certain things in place, what level of interaction do you require them to have? Because if you're saying that, okay, well, he can buy her a gift or whatever that may be, does he have to truly interact with her?
If he's buying her a gift, there should be some sort of
So what I'm saying is,
if he's doing anything that for me, my mate is there for me because she does have a dad. If they choose to have a relationship, if they would like to have a relationship, because I mean, I've had booze after, I got divorced, right? And they've had relationships with my kids, right? And stuff. And so, but it's a relationship that is curated between them and the child, right? And if that child is uncomfortable having a relationship with them, then I don't force that, If they like them and they cool, like, oh, mama, he cool. I could talk to him or whatever. Yeah, then cool. Then you talk to him, and that's fine.
And I said earlier before you came on that they have mothers that just sit back and let that relationship do what it do. But the difference with you is you teach your children to respect elders, period. You don't give a damn if they're dating them, whether it's a co-worker, whether it's the neighbor up the street. If your child's 16 and the
call nobody by their first name. If I hear you say Felicia, and I'm like, is Felicia grown? That's a Miss Felicia.
Right.
You
old school.
Yeah, I'm old school.
A 30-year-old is not gonna be like that. They don't care. They act like they have a deaf ear.
That's part of the issue, though. That's part of it because there's no boundary between. That miss to me is that boundary that you know how your mama tell you, I'm not your little friend.
Right.
I'm not your little friend, so you're not gonna treat me as such, right? And I'm a cool ass mom. Don't get me wrong. My kids come talk to me about anything, and stuff.
But it's boundaries.
But they know the boundary of respect, right?
But a lot of parents today, they want to be their kids' friend.
Yeah.
She is still taking care of me, right? And I'm not owed that just because I'm her mama. I'm owed that because I earned it by taking care of the things I need to take care of. And I do give you the mama that you can talk to. And I do give you the openness to be who you are and so on and so forth. So like, I'm not owed it because I take care of you, because I don't believe in that either. If a parent is being disrespectful and being an asshole, then no. Thank you for taking care of me. I appreciate it, but you're supposed to change my diapers. That's your job.
We just talked about that today.
Or because you own me, you need me to respect me because I changed your diaper. Well, that was your job, sir. When you have baby, you change your diapers. But as we get older, we develop in a relationship, and if that relationship, if you can't respect me, in my opinion, or me growing up, or whatever it is, then I'm gonna have less and less respect for you, right? Now there's a whole community, especially in therapeutic community, where we're like, cut them off. And when you're grown, you don't have to talk to your parents if you don't want to. You don't owe them anything. They raised you. Thank you very much. Now I'm done with this toxicity and how you treat me like shit. So I'm not going to talk to you, right? And stuff. The respect comes in if you can manage that relationship and allow that child to grow and flourish, and respect them as they grow and flourish, and respect them for who they are and what they are and how they choose to be, whatever choices they make. They got to make the same kind of mistakes we got to make. We have to learn on our own, give them the opportunity and the space to learn on their own. Our job is to be there for them when they fall, if they need it. Not to direct exactly how their lives go.
That's so real. That is so real. I want to reset the room. We just want to thank everyone for coming out. We got Chanel. We got my man Rich, Mr. Melvin TV, D Black, Jay, and myself, Phantom J. This is the Speak On It podcast, man. We talking on a real issue dealing with the relationships with between stepfathers, just step families in general, and the effects. I just want to go back and walk back on the issue with you, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
What was the effect after that particular thing that happened to you? Because 5 years, and then that baby was 7 years old.
Wow.
When the relationship,
and the other one was 9.
That bond, and those the bonding years.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that had to be hard because they needed a father figure.
Yeah.
So how did that, from this point of you talking to us, how did that affect you? Because we're getting ready to land this plane, and we're gonna get this together and get our comments together. How did that affect you in that way? To this day, when you talking to us now?
Well, it affected me. I was like, after that, dude, I was done. I think I tried to do the stepdad thing one more time after that. But after that, I said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. Why am I signing up taking care of somebody else's kid? I have my own kid to take care of. You know, I only got one kid, but she's a grown woman now. But the thing is, like, I should be concentrating time with her instead of being with somebody else, taking care of their kid. And as soon as we break up, you know, everything I put in is thrown out of the window. That's like you putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle and somebody come in and take the last piece and you're almost done. You know?
How long, y'all remember the puzzles? How long it took? I never could put them together. I used to just with it to be done.
That's what it's like. Then after that, man, I say, you know what? I'm not gonna do that anymore. And I dated this girl. She had a teenage daughter, and I never said I would do that. I tried. And the reason why I didn't want to do it is because what happened, what I thought was going to happen. She was hot in the pants. You know, she was basically trying to, you know, throw herself on me. And she was only 15. I said, you ain't getting me caught up. You know, I'm not R. Kelly. You know, no, you can go somewhere else with that. No, you know what I'm saying? No, I ain't have time for that, you know? And she was a cute little girl. She was Black and Puerto Rican. I said, yeah, holler at me in 3 or 4 years if you want to. But right now, no.
Right.
You know?
Stop.
Hey,
you know, like, nope, it's gonna backfire. Nope, I'm not doing it. But that's just my personal thing, man. I don't want to personally date anyone, especially a woman who has small children, because I already know that the baby's father gonna pop in and out. He gonna beat on the door 2 a.m. tomorrow. He want to see his kids and all this other goofy nonsense, and calling and doing all this other stuff. I don't want to date anyone who has teenage daughters, because I already know how that's gonna be. You know, they think I'm young, but I'm not. Hell, I'm 51.
Right.
But most people look at me, they be like, what?
Right.
You're what? Man, I thought you was 32. Hey, thank you, but no, I was born in 71.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So the thing is, by me not looking my age, it makes younger girls try to want to talk to me. I'm like, no, young lady, I'm old enough to be your dad. So the thing is that me personally, this is just me. The whole stepdad thing, I'm not signing up for it. I refuse. I put my time in. I got burnt a couple times. After getting burnt twice, I'm not gonna get burnt 3 times. I'm good.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's no bitterness or anything like that, guys.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't want to do it because I already know what could potentially happen. And at this age, I don't want to do it. You know, I don't want to do that at this age. You know, my daughter's 27. Why am I dating somebody who has little kids? That makes no sense to me. And especially if they're not my children. Now, I can see if I got her pregnant and we got a baby and things of that nature. Okay, that changes the whole game. Okay, this is my kid. You know, it came from these balls. That's fine. I'll do that. As far as like, you know, you having an already made family today in the 21st century, guys, a lot of men are just opting out. They don't want to do it. Because they understand they're going to get burned. Why am I helping you raise another dude's kids? Where is he at? If he's not deceased, he should be somewhere around. You know, you shouldn't have to go make the state make him participate in the child's life. He should want to do it. You know, and that goes back to what you said, Black, about knowing how to vet people. You got to know how to vet people, man. People think they lay down with the popular dude. Next thing you know, they got a baby. They're only 2-3 months in. Now they don't like each other, but the baby's still on his way. You know, it's just silly. The baby's still gonna show up.
That's right.
But he done moved on. Like the dude said on Maury. He said, "You are the father." He told Maury, "Hey man, put that on my tab.
Right.
Put it on my tab. I ain't doing nothing."
Wow.
But that's how a lot of guys are, man. They just starting to walk away. Even if they have a kid with a woman, they like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. It's too much drama for me. And people can call me a deadbeat. They can call me what they want. At the end of the day, I got my peace of mind. I got to deal with this lady screaming and hollering every 2-3 seconds, trying to control me and do all this other nonsense. So the whole stepfather thing is just
that is
putting
so
themselves on child support just not to have to deal with the toxicity in the relationship.
Right.
They just rather pay the bill.
They get out of the relationship and they at the child support office the next day.
I mean, the bill
with all they little check stubs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hey, Jay, you had something to say because I seen you click on. You got something to say, Jay?
No, if I did, I lost my point now.
No,
okay.
To you, Jay, I wanted to know how do you feel about the ready-made family? We know that you starting a family of your own now, but before you got into the situation and the relationship that you're in now, what was your view on ready-made families and opting in or out of being a stepfather?
Well, I mean, I wasn't a fan of it, and it was mostly because I did not. So, like I said, I think it was last week or whatever time frame it was. When you jump into a relationship with someone that already has a kid, and it comes as a package deal, the package deal includes the biological father, and that was a package that I wasn't willing to pick up. I didn't want to deal with him having to come over and get the kid. I've dealt with that before. That situation, it turned out to be okay, but that made me realize that really wasn't what I wanted to do with my life and in my relationship. I did not feel like seeing this other dude that used to pounce up and down on the woman that I'm with now.
Hey, that's real talk.
and, constantly have to see him, and then they standing over there talking because they have to talk about the kid and communicate, and then he looked.
You never know if he's saying, "Hey, when he go to work, you know what I'm saying, you gonna come over."
Yeah, whatever it may be, but we had cameras on the house, so but I don't feel like dealing with that. I just don't.
Right.
He know what we got. Our penis done had the same smell. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like dealing with it.
Right. I mean, that's real. That's real.
That was funny.
Chanel, we try to be on our best behavior. You got some clothes.
No, be y'all, man. Be y'all.
Hey, Chanel already know I can't help but
Gotta be yourself.
You got some closing remarks on this. Thank you. First of all, thank you for coming on. And you and Rich, y'all need to come on more often.
I do. Just let me know, brother.
On that,
let me know. I'll be here.
Yeah, we got.
I like to run my mouth.
One next week. But my deal on the
go ahead.
Being that I came up in different households where there was stepfathers in there, stepmothers and fathers, I know how to get the respect. And I'm not gonna date a woman who don't know how to make that child respect. But if it turns into a making a child respect, I'm gonna opt out of it. And these days, like he said, I can't deal with that deadbeat parent coming by, because my thing is, he pops up especially if he just pops up every now and then. He very blue moon, and I'm the one doing all majority. I'm doing 80%. He doing 20. If I'm doing over 60%, I don't want that joker coming over there. That's just me. And if she insists that child goes to her biological, which, I don't want to be in that relationship. And I'm very good at weaning myself off a person, and once I'm gone, I'm gone. So once I see where that's going, and I done been here putting in this work, I done been there 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden he want to walk up in there now that the girl getting ready to go to college or in high school, and now he want to poke his chest out. That's my baby and all that shit because she's shooting basketball and all that. I'm not gonna deal with that. So when I see that going that way, and then she say, well, you got to respect that because at the end of the day, that's her father, and that can stay her father. And I know how to divorce myself from the whole family. So that's one thing I do good because of house to house and, family to family. I know how to disconnect very well. And once I disconnect, I actually forget I was with you. Yeah, I have to think about, I was with her for 3 years. I was with her for 5 years. Because when I disconnect, I'm gonna tell you, when I disconnect, because it's kind of like military kids. You have to leave your friends every other year. You just tell them love the house, you love this, and then there you go into Beaumont, Texas. Then you in Beaumont, Texas for a year, and now you're going to Greenville, Mississippi. Now you're down there for a year. Now you're in Arkansas. So it's like I know how to disconnect, and so I couldn't do it. I've been fortunate not to have one where the father comes by the house and knock on the door and the child got to go. I've been fortunate not to have that, and it's Gemini. I'm a twin. 2 heads has always been better.
I thought you was a Virgo, boy, because Virgo cutoff game is vicious.
Dude, but my grandma, they say I got mine from my grandma. And so they say she would feed the whole community. And one child would disrespect her and she won't feed that child ever again. That child can come to her step crying with his stomach hurting. And she said she would not open the door. She'll feed all the other kids. And I have that honestly, because I cut you off. Forget I knew you. And you can need a drop of water to live, and I wouldn't spit on you. And that's just me. So I ain't the one nobody really wanna cross. And I have cut off several childhood people, family members. I don't give a. If you ain't for me and mine, I cut you off. Move on.
And not only that, a lot of babies' fathers can still sleep with the baby mama. Yeah, they can still mess with her. Oh, trust and believe it.
That means
I'm done with him. Sure.
If they can do that, I mean, like I said, I've been blessed in so many areas. If they're able to do that, she wasn't yours in the first place, and you ought to be glad because that's the way I look at relationships. If you leave me, or decide you want to cheat, that's a blessing to me because I know what I possess. And you don't deserve what I have to offer. So I sit back and wait. I'm one of those that I'm waiting on you to mess up. So because I don't need it I don't need that stress on me. So I just sit back. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. And men know when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And men know why that woman drifts from them and why they possibly cheat. They know. They act sharp, but you know when you treat a certain way, you know when you got things in your phone, you know when you acting different, you know that it's a possibility she's seen that text message, she's seen that inbox, she's seen that Instagram, she saw that what they do now, the duos and FaceTime, so you won't look at the call logs now. They call for video. So the truth eventually comes to the light. So they not surprised, but they know. So but if a woman can still sleep with the baby daddy, apparently you wasn't what it do in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But on that, if you happen to do that, get into a relationship with a ready-made family. If there's no respect walking in, walk out. That's my thing on that. And it gotta be more than just a how you doing, Mr. James, or how you doing, Mr. Smith. It has to be respect where when you say bedtime is bedtime. When you say wash dishes, they're washing dishes. You pretty much have to have the second in command in that house from that mother. Because a lot of times the mother's not going to be there. She's going to tell you to watch that house. She's going to say, hey, the dish need to be run, put Brian in the bed by 8 o'clock, So if you in that where you have smaller children, you're gonna have to have that respect. And like he said, a lot of men are opting out of it because they don't want to deal with that just to get the disrespect, or for their biological father to come in and take everything you build. You went through the hard part. You went through the snotty nose, the periods. You went through the breast hurting while they're growing. You went through the teaching them to talk, to teach them how to play basketball, football. You went through all that. For that biological to come back at any given Sunday, boom.
And just crush it
My child.
Exactly. Yeah,
Thank you. It's my child. Hey, how you doing, sir? I appreciate everything you've done. You ready to go, Brianna? And you looking like you didn't even know he was coming back. Like sometimes the mom's not going to tell you. She might say, her dad's supposed to drop by, but you didn't know that she was going to leave with him. You know, it's going to be a lot of times there's always a little something left out because that mother knows how much you care for her child. So she's not going to tell you everything.
Right.
So,
or if they have teenage sons, the teenage son be trying to challenge you to fights and all this other nonsense. You know, he's not going to.
First time you do that, though, you pick his little ass up,
bust him down.
You big, you bear her, and you play. You be playful. You laugh while you're doing it.
That's smart.
You laugh while you're doing it, and then they say, "Dog, I didn't know you was gonna hurt me. Oh, we were just playing." Then they know, Mr. James kind of strong.
Yeah.
I'm Ving Rhames. I'm Ving Rhames and he's Baby Boy.
Baby boy.
Yeah, I'm Ving Rhames and he's Baby Boy. I'm gonna sneak up behind him with this thing right here and put that on him.
Right. Right, man.
Let's get her closing remarks.
Yeah. Go ahead.
With regard to step parenting, man, talk, and like you said, vet your people. Like I believe in big communication in all things. Y'all can hear me talk about that all the time. Communication. Like, don't find out ahead of time like what that person's viewpoint is on the thing. And people aren't always upfront, and people say they want something that they might not necessarily. Sometimes people don't know what they want. They don't even know what they need, and so you have to be aware of that. Like we said, going into a step parent situation, it's a ready-made thing, and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen in any relationship, though, right? And so being prepared and knowing what your deal breakers are, like Mr. Bailey, you know what your deal breakers are now. Like I ain't doing
disrespect.
That. Just like I know I'm not going to date a man that got little kids. If your kid is anywhere near, if it ain't 1 year younger than mine, then we can't talk because I'm trying to get rid of my kids out the house, right? Because I also am 51 years old. I'm not trying to do all that baby stuff. I'm not, I'm in a different phase of my life. And so don't come in here with the little people because I don't do little people no more. Right. And so know what your deal breakers are and walking in. Know what you're looking for walking in. I know I'm not a person that really is down for traditional marriage. So if you walk in the door talking about, I want to get married, well, you're not the one for me because we're not on the same page with that.
Right.
Walk into it. Understand what your deal breakers are before you walk into it. Talk about it up front. Right. If you know you need the respect and they can't give it to you, then you out. If you already know your kid is a smart ass and he don't respect nobody and whatever the case may be, okay, I'm sorry, I'm out. I can't deal with that. Like, know what your deal breakers are. Know what it is that you can handle. That way you know what you're getting into beforehand. And just be honest about it. Communication, baby. That's what I did. Communication is very important. It's the most important thing. The most important. You got to get that in. You got to get that in. If you don't know what's going to happen, then you set yourself up for failure every time. Every time.
Deal breaker is definitely disrespect.
And when you see it, say something. And if they don't do nothing about it, then that ain't for you.
Right.
Set your boundaries.
And like I say, when that happens, though, that's when you start weaning yourself off that person. I never suggest that anyone leave anybody cold turkey overnight, because that's why they run back and get in that relationship 3 and 5 years later. They run back to that person, and it lasts for a minute, but then it gets 3 times worse. Then you realize why you left in the first place. And time waits for no one, and it don't slow down. So it's
Gotta
time,
move
you
on.
know, that's like they used to say, it's like shitting and backing up, stepping in it. And I don't want it on my shoes.
You don't want
So I rarely ever go back.
Right.
I never went backwards. Never. Anybody I broke up with, we broke up. All that going back. And the breakup is once we just say F you, and you leave and you gone.
Okay,
That person, she gone for 3 weeks, and I ain't talked to her. I seen her in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out.
That's right.
Because it's like, ain't no telling what you done in them 3 weeks. And,
Right.
I was too popular. I was too
Right,
popular.
exactly.
So you're not gonna come back to me and then been with John and MC Mike and Ray, and then I'm walking in Walmart with my chest out there. This is my baby, and then they done had you, and now you back with me. No, sir. That's out. And that's why when we break up and they want to get back together, they say, I know you and I know your pride. I'm not gonna let my mom say my pride gonna send me to the grave. Because I have a lot of pride, and I will lay outside. I will lay outside and eat breadcrumbs before I go back to somebody who disrespected me.
Right.
I sleep outside under a church where they park their vans at.
Right.
I sleep under that before I go back to a 500 square foot house.
Yeah.
I sleep right out there on that van until I do better.
Because your peace of mind is more important than anything.
Peace of mind is more
peace of mind, you got to have it. I tell guys all the time, the most valuable thing, one of the most valuable things on this planet is your peace of mind. Your peace of mind to keep gray out your hair. Your peace of mind to keep you not getting sick. Your peace of mind to keep you not, it'll make you sleep better at night because you don't have to worry about anything. You got your peace of mind. Your peace of mind will have you pull up in your driveway, not sitting in your car for an hour because you don't want to go in the house. I feel that.
I feel that
too. That your mate to be your peace.
Right.
If they not your peace, say peace.
Say peace.
You gotta go. You cannot bring me chaos and turmoil.
That's what's up, man. We just
I want you to Phantom. Tell them why tell them we expose why we wouldn't date or what's going on with us with the ready-made families. Tell them why you don't want one.
Man, I don't have children. So
you have no kids?
No, I don't got no children.
Oh, okay.
Rich, I thought you already knew that. Yeah, I thought you knew
I thought you had one like me.
No.
I stopped at the one.
What's your view on the ready-made family?
In reality, if I meet a woman with a ready-made family, it'd really have to be adult children that I would deal with because I done dealt with a woman that got little children, and it's difficult because you bond with those children.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would rather, in reality, if I never have children, I want some, but however Allah has it for me, He has it for me. I would deal with a woman that has adult children, teenage children that I can be with, because I'm not gonna deny myself companionship and love from a woman because she has children, but it got to be a conversation.
Okay, what if the
they're not gonna be disrespect me.
What if the child 10 years old? Is that a deal breaker? If the child, I'm gonna say 8.
No, the child, because that child foundation was built at 7. So that child knows his father, the child knows so that's fine within that area. But when you're dealing with toddlers and little children, it leaves an impression, because I was that child and thinking that this man was gonna be with my mother, and he wasn't. It was a thing, and then he leave, and it's a void, because having a man in the house, being a stepchild, is different. The balance and the energy in the house is different when you have a man in the house. The authority is there. It's ominous. You can feel the authority of a man in the house, but when it's not there. But my mother was a soldier, and she was a general, and my aunts were soldiers. Just as Rich, I know Rich's mom. Rich's mother is like my mother. She didn't play. She was friendly, We had parties every weekend.
We did.
But in certain areas of the house, we could not go in, and she made sure that she was the authority in the home. So during that time, it was different. But just boil down to it, if I don't have children and I deal with a woman with children, they got to be teenage children or a little past toddler stage.
Do you have a limit of how many children she can have? Like 2, 3, 4, 5?
Man, it's pressing 2. Pressing 3 because they at that age they can pretty much maintain themselves. Yeah, they can maintain themselves. So because black women, because I'm dealing with black women, I know they gonna have children. I haven't met too many from my experience. I'm not saying it's not the case, but from my experience, I haven't met too many black women with 2 children. They have 3 or more a lot of times. So, but I rarely meet a woman that don't have children. So if they don't have children, they graduate and they out of the house. So yeah. Yeah.
The clear. She said,
"Huh? That's right."
Yeah. She putting her bid in. You putting her bid in, son.
Nah,
Yeah. So that's what that is. That's what that is for me.
Yeah, that's honorable though, man. Like you know what you're looking for, and you already set your boundaries. You already know what you can handle and what you can't.
Right. Yeah, right. Phantom. Here, I've been knowing him. I've been knowing this cat for over 30 years. That's a good dude, man. Yeah. So if any woman end up with him, man, she gonna be lucky. Yeah, he's a hustler. He'll go out there and get it done. I've been knowing he's always been.
We're gonna
stand up since I've been knowing him.
We're gonna auction him off one of these days.
With that BS now.
But yeah, we're gonna auction him off. He's a good dude all around.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
He's intelligent. He'll work.
Chanel Black always put me on the spot like that.
I see that.
You get out there and work. So yeah, we got to auction his brother off.
Just throwing you out there.
So he don't have a lot of miles on him.
He ain't got You got miles on him.
Let me say this. One thing I'm gonna tell you. One thing that I saw as a child with my mother. Growing up, my mother, she still is. My mother was very attractive, still is. And men would come. If my mother wanted to, she could have had men coming in and out of the house. Mm-hmm. But I remember her telling men, if you can't accept my son, we're a package deal. If you can't accept my son, it ain't no deal. And I used to hear those men say that they don't want to raise no child. Mm-hmm. They don't want no extra child. So I saw a lot of hurt dealing with my mother being by herself because it was men that didn't want to deal with her because she had me.
Wow.
But I didn't know what poverty was. I didn't know we stayed in the hood, but we did.
Right.
Because the house was so clean and immaculate. I had my little Star Wars curtains and fitted sheets and blankets. Mm-hmm. I didn't want for anything because my mother took care of the business. But my mother sacrificed herself on that level.
Yes.
That she would rather be by herself than to be a Charlotte on the
not have you have what you need.
Yeah, having men in and out of the house for her own pleasure. She denied herself. So I had to. I respect that, in my mother.
Yes,
that's good.
Yeah. So, Black, we got anything else, Captain?
No, that's about it. Like she said, know what you want and hold on to your standards. I mean, in communication.
Right.
When you walk in that door, if you do deal with a ready-made family, that communication is the key, like she said.
Yeah.
The do's and don'ts. How many times that man gonna come by? And then I read a post on Facebook where this lady said she don't like when guys ask her how many baby daddies she have. She have 3 kids, or do they all have the same daddy? Is what she said she didn't like. And I'm like, he got a right to ask that because
Exactly.
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
How many different
Now-
niggas
now,
gonna be
don't get
knocking
me
on
wrong.
the
If it's
damn
off
door?
top, then it is disrespectful. You can't walk in there like,
That's
how many
true.
baby daddies you got, because that's
Right.
an assumption, and then you start feeling like people calling you a hoe. So
Yeah.
once you get into a real conversation
Right.
and asking it in a respectful manner, then yeah, he deserves to know how many baby
Right.
daddies there.
Right. That's his right.
You got
Right.
3 kids. How many?
Yeah, how many baby daddies you got?
She put that on there. They be asking me how many baby daddies I got, and I was uncomfortable. I ain't think he need to be asking me that. If y'all finna be involved,
If y'all finna
the
be in a
different
relationship,
niggas
you need
finna
to
be
know how
knocking
many
on the
fools he
door
dealing
from
with.
Gerard to Poo,
Yeah.
from Gerard
Yeah, you need to
to
know.
Poo Poo and a bunch.
Yeah.
And
I
Dre,
need to
man.
You still
know
fight
how
with
many coming
them?
over
You
here.
still call them? Are they involved?
Exactly.
We need to know all that. All of
Yeah.
that.
Because she wouldn't have a problem asking him what he do for a living or how much money he make a year.
Thank
How
you.
much?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can
And
ask me
now
that, but I can't ask you
even
this.
ask the man how many kids he got now.
Right. That's right.
Not that it matter because the kids
Or how big his
gonna
thing
get
is,
their
all
mama.
this other nonsense.
Shut up.
That's right. Yeah, man. So we just want to thank everyone for coming out. Hey, Rich.
What's up?
Next month we're gonna have a spotlight. We're gonna have OZ on here.
Oh, okay, that's what's
So
up.
I'm gonna let you know when we have him.
Yeah, we're gonna be trying to do something for the
with the
artists
legend, Monroe
every
legend.
first Friday. First Thursdays.
Okay.
But yeah, so he'll keep you posted on that. Next topic should be pretty decent. I'll let y'all know what it is. Probably if not Sunday, Monday, so we can all get your dialogues and things together. But it should be an interesting one. But yeah, we like to thank everybody for tuning in. 2 years or something and running. So yeah. But we're out. Appreciate everybody who came on to the panel. Chanel, Bailey.
Anytime.
Appreciate you. We
Get
out.
ready.
We spoke on it and we speak on it.
Nikita, Andrea.
Yeah.
Give a shout out to everybody that commented.
Right.
Nikita, Andrea Johnson,
Marquise Lewis.
Yeah, that's the homie from school, Rich.
Oh yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah.
And we want to thank everyone for coming on. And we appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all a lot. We're gonna keep pushing the content, and y'all look at Melvin TV as well, because Rich off the chain. I'll be looking at his video about 15 times.
Yeah, I watched it with him every day. Post that. Post his information at the bottom of this link, so people can go check him out.
Mr. Melvin TV.
Mr. Melvin TV. Hey, Rich, you got a YouTube channel?
I do. Same name.
Okay. All right.
They post that under this post once we finish. Post it.
Right. Y'all can check all my stuff at Choosing Empowerment. I'm on all the things, and I'm about to start my own podcast soon.
Yeah, let us know.
Drop your information on there too.
Yeah, drop your information on there.
And we're all gonna be guests on all of your platforms. So
on your platform.
On your podcast. So appreciate you, Richard.
We speak on it, we spoke on it, and we out of here, man.
Yeah.
We want to
thank everybody.
Next week, same time, same place.
Channel.
Appreciate you.
Deuces.
All right. Later.